Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, 8:30 PST in the morning, so it's time for my weekly update on how things are going with regards to my endeavor to invest in multiple Airbnbs around the world. And first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Last week when I recorded my video, it was the day before New Year's Day or the day before the 31st. So I haven't really done that much this week. With all the festivities, I went to my brother's place and we celebrated New Year's Eve actually at my cousin's place. It was awesome fireworks, so it was a lot of fun, a lot of champagne, and seeing a lot of family members. So great times. Not haven't been working a lot, but I do have a few things to share. First of all, a friend of mine, his name is Avery, and he lives in Miami, and he has been investing in multiple properties in Florida, I think, and he's created a really cool worksheet where he analyzes all sorts of options to buy properties. So, for example, you can analyze buying the property with your own money without a mortgage, and then there's a column where he analyzes having like 20% of the mortgage of the value of the house, or 30%, 50%, or even up to 80%, and you can see what that does to the return on investment that you get. So it's a really interesting worksheet. I'm not at that point yet where I'm actually comparing different properties and different options with mortgages. In fact, I don't think I can get a mortgage. So, it's not super useful for me at this stage yet, but it may be useful for a lot of other people. So I've set up an autoresponder in my email program. So if you go to getpaidforyourpad.com/Airbnb-investing, you'll be able to fill in your email, and then I'll automatically send you an email with a link to the worksheet if this is something that you're interested in. If you're looking to invest in property, especially in the US, and you're looking to get a mortgage, then I imagine this worksheet would be very useful. And also, if you have any suggestions or feedback how to improve it, Avery told me that he's very interested in learning about that. So go ahead and send me an email or send him an email. I've included his email in the worksheet. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. The other thing is that I've actually been looking at some actual properties in Cali and Cartagena in Colombia. Well, I haven't been looking at them in the sense of being there because I'm still in Holland. But I've looked at some proposals from a real estate company in Colombia that I am connected to, and they've actually made an offer where I could put down a down payment of about $10,000 or so and make the full payment in April. And it looks really interesting, and it's a pretty affordable property. It's under $100,000, but still I'm a little reluctant to buy something that I've never seen, even though I trust the company. I've never been to Cali myself, so it's really important for me to visit the location first to see if I would actually enjoy spending time in that location. Because one of the big reasons that I want to have multiple properties around the world is that so that I can reside in those properties myself for a few months out of the year. But anyway, it looks really interesting. I'm flying to Chile on Thursday, so six nights from now, and I'm gonna visit not only Chile but also Colombia. So I'm gonna be looking at some of these properties over there, and then the last week I'll be spending in Panama City, and maybe also a few days outside of the city to look at some properties there as well. Now, I also wanted to discuss briefly a question that I got from one of the people in my community, one of the people who listen to the podcast. This is a lady. She lives in London, and she has been looking after Airbnbs that are owned by other people, but she manages it, and that's kind of her business. And she's a little worried right now because Airbnb is going to enforce the regulations in London, which means that you can only rent out your house for 90 days a year. And Airbnb is now working on a system that will allow the website to physically like block your calendar. So there's going to be a counter on your on the website, counts the amount of days that you've been renting out, and when it hits the 90-day limit, then your calendar will be automatically blocked. Now this is not in effect yet. They're working on it, and I think they have 6 months to implement this. So for the next 6 months, people are probably going to be okay renting out for even more than 90 days, I suppose. But once Airbnb implements this on their website, it's all over for the people who want to do it for longer than those 90 days. And she's asking, what can I do other than for somebody to sell their house? What are your options if you still want to rent out your property for most of the year? So, and then also a question is, well, what am I going to do if I can't look after houses that are and manage houses because people can't do Airbnb anymore? Then what should I do? She's tried other platforms, but there's not a lot of demand on those other platforms. So my suggestion is, if you manage properties, then I think you want to switch to finding people, instead of finding people who want to rent out, like landlords who want to rent out their places the whole year. I think you want to look for people who are looking to make some extra money while they're out of town. So I just interviewed somebody today. He's the founder of Airbnb, the largest short-term rental company in Amsterdam, and he only has clients that are complying with the rules. It's something that he chose to do that. He doesn't want to be affiliated with people who don't obey the rules. So all his clients, and he has about 900 apartments in his under management, and all those people are they're either people who are running a B&B, so they have a permit to do it for the whole year, or there are people who are renting out less than 40% of their apartment, in which case they can also do it for full time. But all the rest are people who are only renting out when they go out of town. So either they're on holiday or they're traveling or whatever. And that could be an interesting demographic to focus on, because then you're staying within the rules, and so you don't have to go into listing on different platforms or creating new accounts when you can't list on Airbnb anymore. It becomes very, very shaky, and it's kind of like a gray zone, I think. If I were to manage other people's Airbnbs, I would want to have a sustainable long-term business where I'm doing it within the space that the regulators provide. And so if you go out and find people who go on holiday and they want to rent out their house just for a couple of weeks or for a month, then then you don't have a problem with the regulation. So from a management perspective, that's the type of Airbnbs that I would focus on. So I hope that that helps. Other than that, I don't really see a solution other than selling the property and reinvesting elsewhere, unless you want to be dealing with multiple platforms. But the problem is Airbnb is, I think in Amsterdam it's like 80% of the market. So if after 60 or 90 days you can't do Airbnb anymore and you have to use all those other sites to try and fill your calendar, I think other than a lot of extra hassle, extra management of managing multiple platforms, it's also a big question whether you can fill up your house just using those other platforms. I've never tried it, so I can't speak from experience, but that's kind of what I expect. Anyway, I'll keep this update a little short. Next week, my video will be coming to you live from Santiago. So that will be the day after I arrive. No, actually, it will be the day that I arrive. I fly out on first day, but it's a red-eye flight, so it's a pretty long flight, by the way. I fly to Paris first, then have a layover in Paris for a couple hours, and then it's a 14-hour flight from Paris to Santiago. So, yeah, wish you a good week, and hope to see you next week on Friday when I'll be coming to you from Chile. So, the last thing I wanted to say is I'm going to be releasing multiple episodes a week. Every Monday I'll release an episode. I'm talking about the podcast now. Every Monday I'll release an episode in which I interview either a host or the founder of a startup that's related to Airbnb, just as usual. But then on Thursday I'll be releasing an episode in which I discuss the news surrounding Airbnb in the last few weeks. So whatever has happened in the world of Airbnb in the last couple of weeks, I'll be discussing it with one of the team members of Hostfully, the app that helps hosts provide awesome guidebooks, online guidebooks to their guests. And so I figured it'd be fun, every Thursday to have an episode for about 30 minutes where we discuss the news for those of you who want to stay updated on what's going on in the Airbnb world. I figured it'd be interesting to listen to, and that way you don't have to check the news all the time. All you need to do is on Thursday just listen to the 30-minute podcast episode, either while you're in the car or while you're cooking some food or before you go to sleep, whenever suits you most. So I'm excited about this new venture, and I'm curious to hear if people are enjoying it and if people are interested in it. So feel free to reach out to me at jesper@getpaidforyourpad.com and let me know what you think. Also, I wanted to mention that every Monday I send out a newsletter with a lot of stuff, with some news headlines, the podcast episode that gets released on Monday, as well as some hosting tips and some special deals and some featured listings. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I send it out every Monday in the morning in PST, so morning in California. So if you're, I don't know if you've already subscribed, keep an eye out for those emails. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so at getpaidforyourpad.com, of course. Also, I'm going to be recording my audio book for my first book, Get Paid for Your Pad, in the next few weeks. So hopefully that will be out there in a month or two from now as well. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. So bye-bye.